Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolyte.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hello and welcome to episode 145 of the Film Blurs. This is the end of the year episode. I am Jeff Stewart. Let me find my AKAs because it's let me tell you who I is. I'm Jeff Stewart, aka Uncle Jeffrey, aka J. Otis Dynamite, Praetorian Jeff, He Who Remains, Revengeman Button, Petty Ruxpin, Jobu Tupaki, Little Tom, this motherfucker. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something to be determined. Black Giovanni Ribisi, Chocolate Tarantino, Ebony Spielberg, and I'm here, joined here as always with my friend and co-host.
What's up, ball bags? My name's Brandon Norwood, aka Hero Protagonist. I came back in IMAX for you early this year, aka the true father of Joe, Kanye, and Aubrey's kids. Oh man, these lawsuits keep getting bad for you, Aubrey. Cannot wait to sell your assets. aka Papi Chulo, aka the Glizzy King, aka Mr. Krusty. Taking New Year out with a bang. aka the Lethal Protector, aka my biggest pet peeve is sports, because I don't like seeing grown men sweat on each other, aka It's Morbin Time, aka Craven. I'm already on video on demand. Y'all didn't want to hunt with me. AKA Ezekiel Sims. Bad ADR don't match my mouth. AKA I want a Subaru Outback with mad strippers in the back giving shape ups. AKA Rough McGruff. AKA D's Nuts. And AKA B Wood, the Mob Deeb. Call me your Messiah and give me Best Picture and Denny a fucking Oscar. Or else you get a Chris knife to the gut. Alright. Let's start with some news. Well, one piece of news. Nolan's next movie is an adaptation of the Odyssey. I did not see this shit coming.
I did not see this one coming, but honestly, I am more excited for this than any other project that Christopher Nolan has ever done, ever. Because the Odyssey is perhaps one of my favorite pieces of classic literature.
Same. It's like this and Beowulf. Beowulf I read in high school. Right. And then the Iliad and the Odyssey I had to read in college. And fuck my every classics professor at Brooklyn College, because y'all shit made that hard. Y'all like, yeah, we purposely made this hard. I'm like, nigga, this shit's already hard to read. You don't need to make it any harder than it needs to be. But yeah, this shit, I think this is probably going to be the biggest scale he's ever worked with.
Yeah, I mean, but like the nature of the material is massive. So yeah, if you thought everything else he did was of grand scale, you haven't seen anything like this. And especially since this is his first real period,
fantasy movie.
Fantasy,
because everything's
like
been really grounded in reality, right? Everything he's done. Like, there's been fantastical elements to it, like Batman, Inception with the sleep stuff, and Tenet with the time, with the inverted time travel stuff. It's all been grounded in reality, and this is the first one where I'm like, oh, he's going to fully embrace the fantastical with the Cyclops and the Hydra. He fights a Hydra in the middle of the fucking ocean, so I can't wait to see that shit. Yeah, Odysseus's 10-year journey home. I imagine this is going to be they're going to have to come up with I know they said new IMAX technology, and that's the film cameras that they've been talking about for and working on for like the past 5 years. So I'm glad they're ready to go. So that's what the new IMAX technology they're talking about. But I also hope that also extends to new IMAX projectors, because I have a feeling this motherfucker might be 3.5 hours. And IMAX can only handle a 3-hour movie most.
Yeah, but we'll see. There's going to be a lot of conjecture and everything like that. A lot of speculation over the next couple of months as things ramp up. But this is really exciting news, because this is Christopher Nolan doing a swords and sandals fantasy.
Matt Damon as Odysseus. I did not think that could be possible.
I mean, look, when Damon's good, Damon's great.
I'm not saying he's going to be bad. I just didn't think, when I think of Odysseus, I don't think of him.
Right. I think of, you know what? Let's
can y'all give him another like $300 million so he could do the Iliad while he's out here doing the Odyssey? Because Troy was some bullshit, bro.
Look, you never know. You never know. Like, that might be a surprise drop in the middle of, like, oh, by the way, I'm working on 2 movies at the same time.
Like, yo, I want to see fucking Nolan's Siege of Troy.
Mm-hmm.
No offense. Yo, Wolfgang Peterson only made one good movie, and that's called Das Boot. And everything he's made since has been fucking mid.
Air Force One?
Okay, yeah, all right. Air Force One. All right, yeah. Yeah, well, everything else has been mid. Like, Perfect Storm, fucking Poseidon.
I forgot he did Poseidon.
Troy had some of the hardest trailers I've ever seen. And I remember going opening weekend to see that motherfucker. And I'm just like, nah, son, nah. I was like, nah. That movie was some bullshit. Yeah, give him money to do the Iliad over. Let's just do the Iliad over. Because you can't do one without the other, baby.
I mean, look, you motherfuckers have like a year and a half to read. Read the books. Read.
Like, the Odyssey is the OG sequel.
It's Terminator 2. Right? It's the classic literature's Terminator 2.
Yeah, yo, listen, it's the OG Dark Knight, where you're like, you finish reading Batman Begins, you're like, damn, that shit was good, and then you pick up the fucking Dark Knight, you read that shit, and you're like, oh shit, all right, this is next level. That's what the Iliad and the Odyssey are, which is crazy because the Iliad's fucking fire too, nigga. Like I said, the Trojan horse shit, the fucking Achilles being a dickhead, that's all in the Iliad.
Yeah, like the Trojan horse thing is the smallest part of the Iliad, right? That's the thing that gets the most hype. But yeah,
you just have Margot be Helen.
Look, I would not put it past him. As like, look, we're already in this. Just give me some more money. Let me finish this up.
Hell yeah,
make another $1 billion.
Hell yeah! All right, Jeff, what have you watched lately?
What are you watching?
All right, my watches have been kind of slight. Just because, holiday season and everything like that, blah, 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 blah. Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah celebration-ish to everybody, whatever you celebrate. Good for you. So we're going to start with a movie I was going to mention last week or last time, but I totally forgot. It is called The Gentleman Broncos. All right. I've seen this movie before, but it was on Amazon. It was like, oh, this movie's leaving. You should check it out. So, The Gentleman Broncos is by, I think the director's name is Jared Hess. It's the guy who did.
Yeah, that's the name, Napoleon Dynamite.
Right. And so, I fuck with this movie a lot, but I understand why everyone else would hate this. So imagine Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, even like the stuff by the dude who did The Greasy Strangler, or like A Magical Night with Beverly Loughlin, right? Imagine those types of movies, right? Those super weird, super unique movies, if they had a whole lot of money and no oversight, right? This movie is weird as fuck. All right. So it's about this teenager who lives with his mom, who happens to be Stifler's mom, like a toned down Stifler's mom, Jennifer Coolidge. Uh, he writes these fantasy stories, right? And that's all he does. And one day he goes to a writers conference with one of his favorite writers. He submits his manuscript for notes. The author takes the script, takes the manuscript, turns it into a book, changes very little, publishes it, becomes successful. So it's a feud between an author and his protege. And it is, like I said, imagine Napoleon Dynamite. If you crank up the weird to 10 and no oversight, that's the Gentleman Broncos. Yeah, I can't really suggest anyone see this unless you were really into that. Like, I don't need my movies to really make sense or to like people in it or to have any kind of resolution. If you just want to watch pretty much someone's descent, like the filmmaker's actual descent into madness, there you go. The Gentleman Broncos on Amazon. After that, I also forgot to talk about this one, Dear Santa, which is on Paramount Plus. It's the movie in which a dyslexic kid writes a letter to Santa, misspells Santa. The letter goes to Satan. Jack Black appears as Satan to grant him 3 wishes before he takes his soul. It's a Farley Brothers movie. It's literally Peter Farley. I will always quote this when a filmmaker from my past totally just fucks up or screws the pooch. Jackie Brown, Odell in the van, was like, what happened to your ass, man? You used to be fucking beautiful. What happened to Peter Farley? This dude is not funny anymore. Right? This premise, if you gave it to Peter Farley 25 years ago, this thing would have made $1 billion. Right? Or whatever the 90s equivalent of $1 billion is. This is the most boring, asinine, fucking lukewarm, weak ejaculation shit I have seen. Right? Jack Black is phoning it in. Like Jack Black as the fucking devil. Right? How is that boring? How is that?
Forgot to say this, Jeff. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
Another bit of news dropped Christmas Eve. Apparently, Paul Rudd and Jack Black are putting out a new Anaconda movie next Christmas.
Yeah, I saw that news and I was like, oh, all right.
Yep,
cool.
nah.
Yeah,
nah.
Yes,
Yo, listen, if you can't make an Anaconda movie work with John Voight, Ice Cube, and Jennifer
Lopez, yeah, right?
Because if y'all have not seen Anaconda, that was like one of the biggest hits in the 90s. Watch it now. That shit is fucking terrible. And not because the effects are dated, it's just the movie itself is terrible.
It was terrible back then, right? Like, but we were used to bullshit. Like, we were really used to bullshit back then in the 90s. So it was like, fuck it, yeah, giant snake, Jennifer Lopez, ass jokes. Isn't there fucking one of the Owen brothers? Like, isn't it one of the Wilson brothers?
Yeah. I think it's Owen Wilson, because Luke's not in it. Yeah, Owen Wilson's in it for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're dancing to like R&B music on the boat.
Right. Wait, isn't Tyrese in this too?
Nah.
Like, it's one of those, it's like the Mandela effect. Like, I just believe everybody in the 90s was in Anaconda.
Yeah, Anaconda's a piece of shit. And it got like 4 direct-to-video piece of shit sequels.
Anaconda 2, The Search for the Blood Diamond. I remember that piece of shit.
And now y'all, I couldn't believe this was the big announcement Sony had. I was like, yo, nobody wants to see this shit.
I mean, honestly, for Sony, this is a big announcement. We all saw. I forgot. Like, I was looking at all the movies that came out this year. I had forgot Madam Web was still 2024.
Yeah.
So they dropped Madam Web
and Craven with a K.
Craven with a K and Venom: The Last Dance all in the same year. It was like, Sony, you might as well just start putting out snuff films.
Yo, Christmas Day next year, you're gonna have your choice between Avatar 3 or a Legacy Anaconda sequel starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black.
Oh my God. 2025 is gonna be lit.
You know when the families go to the theaters that year, you're gonna have that one cousin, and everybody's gonna be like, "All right, go, nigga!"
Like, you go. The car may be here when you get out the movie theater. Like, we may stay for you.
Yeah, like we gonna go see Avatar. You can go see that bullshit.
Yeah. So, yeah, Dear Santa, it's bad. I think there was one joke in it that I laughed at, but I forgot the joke. That's how bad. Like, it's at this. Was it Peter Stanicki, Petey, whatever, Ricky Stanicki, and was another Peter Farley bullshit movie. Fucking Green Book motherfucker. Like,
wait, isn't that Bobby?
What?
Isn't that Bob? Wait, Green Book was Peter?
I don't know, man. Like, wait. I don't know. Like, they're interchangeable.
Who cares? Yeah,
they're fucking interchangeable,
okay.
right? But yeah, between this and Drive Away Dolls, like these 90s heroes need to, step up the game. They really do. All right. So moving on from that. I told you Transformers, all of the Transformers movies are leaving Netflix at the end of this month, December 31st. So I decided, let me go back and rewatch the Transformers verse in no particular order. I love how bad these movies are. Like, me, I'm a Michael Bay apologist, but there's only so much I can apologize for. Like, these movies are just, they're not good. But for some reason they're in, like, if you are hungover, right? If you are hungover and you've got a weighted blanket and you're paralyzed, they're fine. They're great. If you don't want to find them remote control, they're fine. They're great.
None of them are particularly good, but like specifically 2, 4, and 5 are borderline incomprehensible, just across the board.
So,
and 3 is the only one I can say I enjoyed anything.
Like, yeah, I enjoy
Michael Bay Transformers.
I'm enjoying all of them, just for not the reasons they should be enjoyed. So, what was it? Dark of the Moon, whatever one where we introduced Marky Mark, right?
So the Merlin Knight one, like with King Arthur, that was 5.
Right.
Number 4, I think, is the first one where they go to China.
Okay. So,
and they repeat the Battle of Chicago in the middle of the movie for some reason.
Yeah, so that's the one with Marky Mark.
Yeah, because 4 and 5 have Mark Wahlberg.
Right. So that's the first one, Marky Mark. There, and I had to rewind this 5 times. There's a scene where he's behind a wall, Marky Mark, and he's all alone, right? A fucking Transformers bullet hits the wall, it explodes. You cut to a wide of this shot, and for some reason there's a dude there standing next to him. that gets blown up, right? But in the close-up, there's no guy there, right? So they chopped this thing together so fast and so rough shot, and they had to probably reshoot so many stunts that they put clips from like bad takes in this fucking movie, but because it's so loud and it's cut so fast, and the target audience really they don't care about fucking continuity. It's just there. That's the Transformers movies, right? I love to hate them. They're enjoyable on a level it's like kind of undetectable, sort of like radon gas. It's like whatever reason people enjoy them,
Yeah, because 2. I remember rewatching 2 because I think Rise of the Beast was coming out, and I have the same reaction of 2 that I did with Bad Boys 2, which is like I got fucking motion sickness.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
On top of all the fucking bullshit in that movie between the
jive
mom
bots,
the fucking nigga robots, the mom just tripping out on weed brownies for 15 minutes of the movie's runtime. And I'm like, bro, that's not even how that would work. That's not how that shit would work.
Rape Bot 5000.
Yeah. Like no explanation of how a human can be a transformer, or excuse me, how transformers can turn into humans. Like no explanation there. It's just like I was like, wait, how the fuck can this happen?
Like if
no explanation.
If that can happen, then why aren't
all these motherfuckers humans?
Right? Yeah. Don't think about it. that's these live action Transformers movies. Don't think about it.
The Hispanic sidekick who was just every time he was on screen, I'm like, dude, I want to punch you in the face.
Right? Like,
wasn't his name Leo Spitz?
Man, I don't know. Not Anthony Ramos. That's who he was. That's who.
Yeah, because Anthony Ramos is a actor with charisma.
Right. Yeah, this is bad.
Also, that motherfucker looked greasy. I was like, God damn! Like somebody give him a towel, bro.
And here's the thing: they shot Transformers 2 at Princeton University.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm watching this thing, and it's like, yo, how much money did Paramount give Princeton for them to sell their soul like that? Because like, oh, I recognize that building. I've been there. I've eaten lunch there. Like, I've taught class
there. Yeah. The frat party. I was like, oh yeah, I was in that house.
Like, I've been in that house more times than I like. It's whoa, Princeton, you sold your soul, nigga. Like, oh.
Man, looking back, I'm like, damn, how did I not catch anything?
No, it's not. You don't catch stuff from Princeton. You catch stuff from Rutgers.
Look, listen, I've lived too dangerously. All the times I should have gotten like 8 DUIs, never gotten one. Talk my way out of 4.
It's drunk driving is not condoned by the film blurs, but sometimes that shit happens.
Not for me, not anymore, bro. I cannot pull that shit off.
Dude, I don't even like driving sleepy.
Yeah. Like now that I'm old, I'm like, I don't like driving at night.
Right? The lights don't hit the same now, right?
I'm like, yo, and that's why it pisses me off about driving in Pennsylvania at night. I'm like, bro, like, why don't these motherfuckers have
street lights?
Street lights, right? Because Jersey, at least here in Jersey, we got street lights. New York, they got street lights. Coming back from the city, if I drive, I'm like, all right, at least there's street lights.
Right.
There's no street lights anywhere in Pennsylvania. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Fucking, that's what's Commonwealth. That's what. Just fuck.
No wonder y'all have so many fucking accidents.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't even like if I yawn while I'm driving. Like it's like I got to pull over. This is too much. I was done. All right, so Transformers, all the Transformers movies, all fucking 32 of them, whatever, are on Netflix until the end of 2024. So you have, by the time you hear this, you'll have like 2 or 3 days.
I'm going to piggyback off this. Yeah. Y'all in the next episode are going to be getting a review of the 4K of Rise of the Beast, because that shit was on sale on Amazon for $8.99. And I was like, yeah, look. One of the two of these motherfuckers I actually like.
And I think Pete Davidson just be like a voice actor from now on. Like,
yeah.
he needs to get out of the limelight for. I love me some Pete Davidson. Bupkis was actually one of my favorite shows of the year. All right, so that's Transformers. Moving on from that, I told you last week that I was gonna like watch old movies from the 80s and 90s to start filling in gaps, or just watching stuff that was comfort movies. So on Amazon Prime, I decided to watch Martin Scorsese's After Hours. I've never seen it before.
An insane fucking movie. It's
That-
like a Kafka play came to life.
Dude, no, it's the Odyssey. If
That's a good description. The Odyssey done by Kafka.
Right, it's like the Odyssey. If the goal of the Odyssey was a booty call. Like it's honestly,
but it's true to 80s New York in a farcical way.
And I kind of, and if you've ever lived in New York, right, it reminds me of some of those New York nights where like shit just
happens,
like escalates. Like you end up at a bar, you end up here.
Don't do what I did, because like there's niggas on stoops and they'd be like, yo, come here, and I'd be like, yo, what's up? I walk over there, they're like, yo, homie, yo, you got a cig? I'd be like, nah, bro, I don't smoke. They'd be like, oh, you look cool, you want a drink? I'm like, sure. I go up in the most fucking places where I have no business being, drinking with strangers, watching them do bong rips out of shotguns and shit.
Never go to a second location.
I'm talking about like projects, bro. I'm talking about projects where niggas get stabbed. I was just walking up in there, bro.
It was like, no, sir, thank you.
3 a.m. 3 a.m. I didn't give a fuck.
But After Hours, watching After Hours, I see where we got The Wolf of Wall Street, right? It's that same kinetic, energetic, camera sweeping moves in After Hours that you'll see in Wolf of Wall Street. And everyone keeps on talking about Scorsese and his gangster films and everything like that, but people sleep on his more interesting, not gangster CV.
Have you seen The Age of Innocence?
I saw it like many moons ago. I got to go back and watch it.
Yes, that's his best edited movie, hands down.
Yeah. But
like Thelma, you could tell that it should have just said a film by Thelma Schumacher.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, after watching After Hours, it is not aged well, right? It is like really has not aged well.
Yeah.
But it is fun. It is well acted. This may be one of my favorite Scorsese movies.
Well, it just recently dropped in the Criterion collection last year.
Did it? Yeah, I might have to cop the Criterion Blu-ray for this, because I was not expecting this fucking movie. And it's just weird seeing all of these starlets from the 80s before they became big.
Yeah, like Terry Garr. I was like, oh, Terry Garr used to be hot. Because I think of Terry Garr and she's just like, oh.
Yeah, like Terry, Terry Garr, Rosanna Arquette, even like Catherine O'Hare, right?
Yeah, I'm saying she's one of our best working actresses, bro. Like even when she's in a fucking shit movie like Argyle, she's still like one of the best part things. Yeah.
Fucking Laura San Giacomo, full topless. It's like, god damn. And Griffin Dunn is just firing all. Like, I've never been the biggest fan of Griffin Dunn, right? Like, the only thing I really know Griffin Dunn from is Who's That Girl, which is another 80s staple that I'm gonna rewatch. But yeah, he killed it in this. So if you get a chance, if you have Amazon Prime, and if you want a throwback and to watch like peak Scorsese, right? But like just really interesting, fun storytelling. After Hours.
You know who was originally supposed to direct this?
Who?
Tim Burton.
After Hours?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was
nah.
originally supposed to be a Tim Burton movie. And then Scorsese got hold of the script and he's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And the studio's like, sorry, Tim.
Yeah, because this movie, like After Hours is grounded. It's weird, but it's grounded, right? I don't think Tim Burton would have made, like, it would be fantastical. Like, it would be magical. It would be a different movie. And I'd like to see that movie, but it would not be the same movie.
Right.
Yeah. Moving on from that, we're TV. I haven't really been watching many TV shows, but I will have to mention that Bad Sisters season 2 is now on Amazon. Apple Plus. As you know, I've talked about it before. Bad Sisters was one of the best shows on Apple Plus, and that's a hard thing to be because there are so many good shows on Apple Plus. If you're sleeping on it, so season 2 came out, and I've watched the first 6 episodes, and everything that I loved about the first season, I hate about the second season. I don't like this show. I don't like the second season. There's the urgency is not there. And where in the first season the sisters were making mistakes out of desperation to get their sister out of a bad situation, like the second season is them trying to cover up for the things that they did in the first season, and they're just making dummy moves. Right? It's not bad. I just don't like it. For some reason, it's not connecting. Maybe by the time I get to the last episode, maybe it'll all click. It'll make everything I've seen beforehand better. But right now, if it got a third season, hopefully it's better. If it didn't get a third season, I'd be perfectly okay with that. Also on Apple Plus, Shrinking is back. And watching Shrinking makes me hate Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny even more, because Harrison Ford is so good in this fucking TV show. Like, he's utilized so well, and they get who Harrison Ford is now as an actor and as a person. That it's wonderful to see him with like that ensemble cast, right? So Shrinking season 2, Apple Plus, watch it. It's fucking fantastic. It's like Ted Lasso with more fucking. Yeah. So there you go. That's what I have besides like us talking about SNL.
All right.
So what have you been watching?
I'm going to segue. I'm going to go right into TV. And I'm going to start with that. The Martin Short episode. See, nigga, you doubted Martin Short. And I knew Martin Short would bring some heat. And he did. Because the sketches were funny. The guests were numerous.
So, all right. So, I doubted that Martin Short would bring it, right? But this episode is the best episode they've had all fucking season. Yeah.
This is the best episode of the season. This is also reminds me watching this episode, I was like, oh yeah, this is why Melissa McCarthy was huge, because every sketch she was in, she stole, especially the car sketch. I was in tears. I was in tears.
When she wiped her titties?
On this after I was just like, yo, and you could see what's her face. What's her face? Was that Chloe Fineman or was that
Chloe Fineman?
Okay,
Chloe Fineman.
You could just see Chloe Fineman
they were
totally break. She just broke there, and I can't blame her, because if that was me, I'd break too. Like there's no way you could keep a straight face through that shit.
Melissa McCarthy is a national fucking treasure. Yo,
we gotta let her host an episode, bro.
Right? So go on, like, if you're listening to this, go on YouTube right now. Look up that Melissa McCarthy sketch.
It's the car sketch.
It's the car sketch. It's not even Melissa. Like, we
'Cause
call
they
it
did
Melissa.
this car sketch earlier this season, and I was just like, eh. But then, like, the way Martin Short and what's his face, Mikey Day were going
right.
back and forth, I was like, oh yeah. See, it only works with certain people,
Right? And wait, and when Chloe Feynman is like, "Oh yeah, you suck a dick," right? And she
like
grabs
this,
the balls. She grabs the balls. Oh.
Yeah. Almost every skit in here had me fucking in tears. But shout out to Michael Che, man. He made Scarlett Johansson watch.
Right.
And watching horror.
Yo.
Just pure horror.
The joke swap is the thing I look forward to the most every year. And Michael Che just keeps on upping the ante. So if you have not watched it, Che makes Colin Jost do all of his jokes in a black voice, right? And end every joke
the Bernie Mac
with
thing.
the Bernie Mac.
With the Bernie Mac, I ain't afraid of you,
motherfuckers.
Yeah, that was straight from Bernie Mac. Because he has, if y'all don't know, Google legendary Bernie Mac set, and it's a 7-minute stand-up that Bernie Mac does. He's introduced by Martin Lawrence, and he just comes out and in 7 minutes steals the night.
Yeah,
I'm afraid of you, motherfuckers.
Right, because it was a Def Comedy Jam on HBO.
And they were booing everybody.
Right, I remember watching that episode. I remember watching that's how old I am, the Bernie Mac episode. And he comes out, and he, like, first joke, and he just looks everybody with his fucking stink eyes like, shit, I ain't scared, you motherfuckers.
Yo, because that night they were booing everybody, and they had to cut some dude set short because he was bombing that hard. And then Bernie Mac comes out and just tore it down. Yes. That's why he's saying, "I ain't afraid of you, motherfuckers," because he was there the entire night. He saw. He's like, "Fuck that."
So imagine Colin Jost doing that, telling these cringy, just racist ass jokes.
She's. I was just like, he can't even. That's how white he is. He can't even say she.
No, it's on the cue cards because they already because when they dropped they put pussy in there, right? They're allowed. They said they used up their card saying pussy, so they had to say shiz.
Well, also, he only did it one season, but I remember. Michael Che was like, yeah, they're gonna Lauren gives me 3 niggas a season, so I'm gonna use my first one. Nigga. And he has not done that ever since. And I think that was 2 years ago. He has not done it ever since. And he even used his full 3. He just used it the one time. I was just like,
ooh,
yo,
yeah.
man, might be time to bring that shit back, bro.
Oh shit. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that whole entire fucking episode. It's a good way to end 2024.
Yo, the after party must have been lit as fuck.
Yo. The American flag? Let's look at the American flag shirt.
Yeah. Just spits the coffee on the window, too. Like, you could tell that was unscripted.
Right. Like, no one knew.
Because as soon as she spit the coffee, Chloe Feynman just lost it.
An American.
I hate to be the
treasure.
intern who has to clean all that shit up too.
Just burn the set. Just burn it.
Like this is why I'm glad I don't work in public service. Like cleaning up somebody's spit coffee. Man. Anyways, shout out to Martin Short, man. I'm glad to see they joked about him and Steve Martin being together all the time, and he's like, I'm better on my own sometimes. I'm like, yeah. Start doing some shit on your own, Martin Short. You're still funny by yourself. Moving on. What If Season 3? These first 5 episodes have been fan-fucking-tastic. Much better. I think this is my favorite season so far.
I still haven't watched Season 2, man. Because
Season 2 was literally all about Agent Carter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. which is fine, but not fine.
Or Captain Carter, excuse me, Captain Carter. But like, yeah, this season, oh my god, best multiverse stories they've done so far. Like, what if Marcy married Howard the Duck? What if the world was taken over by kaiju accidentally created by the Hulk, and then the Avengers make fucking Pacific Rim and Voltron fucking mechs?
Oh, okay. All right. Shit. So this last season they got wild, huh?
Oh yeah. It also helped that they swapped out showrunners. So
Okay.
the new showrunner, I'm like, damn, you should have been doing this shit the entire time. Wow, wait, we've only had 3 seasons of this shit. Like, this shit should be going forever, especially with this new showrunner. Like, I don't know why we're calling it quits now.
Yeah, I don't. It's Disney, it's Marvel.
They have a fucking what if the Red Guardian stopped the Winter Soldier from killing Howard Stark and becomes like a fucking 48 hours buddy fucking action.
I think I know what I'm gonna do this weekend. Shit.
Yeah, so we have 3 more episodes left, and by the time it hits New Year's, that's it. No more what if. It's gone. Because they're releasing the episode today. That fucking blows, man. I'm really enjoying this shit. Moving on. So while we're on Disney Plus, Skeleton Crew. God damn, bro. God damn. I'm like, yo, look, it's not hard. Like, Star Wars should always be this fucking good.
Because we're on episode 5 drops today or yesterday.
It dropped 2 days ago.
Okay, so I'm only on episode 4.
Yeah.
I finished episode 4.
Yo, listen, episode 5.
Yeah.
Everybody warned these little niggas. They're like, yo, this nigga can't be trusted.
Well, yeah.
But damn, Jude Law. I'm like, they kids, bro. They kids. Even the robot's like, sorry, kids, I can't do anything.
Well, look, the fucking robot tried to murder him last episode, so he can't say shit.
I mean, that was the programming of the pirate. Whoever, we still don't know the identity of the pirate, but I have a feeling episode, what is this, 6?
Yeah.
Coming up is going to be a flashback episode giving much needed context to both who the identity of this pirate was and probably backstory for Jude Law's character.
Right.
It's nice to see Jude Law have fucking fun, not take himself so seriously.
Yeah.
Episode 5, directed by Jake Shear. I just want to say, a lot of fake looking backgrounds, which is wild because like the first 4 episodes pretty unnoticeable, right? And then you get to this one, I'm just like, why does this look so plastically? Like the backgrounds, like the final shot, Jude Law looks like he's floating in front of some fucking CGI shit. And I'm just like, if this is a preview of what Thunderbolts is going to look like, we are in trouble. Because this episode 5 specifically, was like overlit. I was just like, Jesus Christ. It's that Marvel shit.
Oh, man.
So, Skeleton Crew. I hope y'all get a second season, especially since John Watts came out and said, like, somebody asked, how are you going to address these kids' problems? Because by the time y'all get around to doing another season, these kids are going to be old. And he's like, yeah, we got a plan for that. Like, yo, like, don't worry about it. He's like, we got plans for that shit, baby.
All right, good.
It's like, it's called time jumps. We built that shit into the show.
All right, good. Because like The Walking Dead and even fucking Stranger Things, when those motherfuckers age, it is noticeable.
Yeah. All right. Especially Judith. Judith is like a fucking teenager now.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Moving on. The final episode of Doom Prophecy. This shit was an hour and a half. Best episode of the show so far, but like, I can't believe this got a second season because, like, I'm good. But I'm good.
Yeah.
It got renewed for a second season. I'm like, I'm good.
I mean, congratulations for everyone who gets to still eat and work. Not
Mark Strong.
Well, I can only guess. That was coming from episode 1. Like you knew, like that had like.
I mean, he's the biggest name besides Emily Watson and Olivia Williams. And if you have it and Mark Strong, I'm like, I don't know if this nigga wants to do a whole show.
Yeah. But yeah, I still can't bring myself to finish out. Like I don't have the energy, and the fact that like the last episode of this 6 episodes series is the best one. Is like I have to wade through all this other bullshit to get to this just so you can actually kickstart it. Yeah, nah.
So the only good episodes to me were 3 and 6, and that was it. And now I'm just like I don't give a fuck.
That's fine.
I don't give a fuck. Look, there's a reason why Denny was just like I think there's a reason why this switched hands a lot. This is also based primarily on the shit that Herbert's son wrote with Kevin Anderson, which a lot of people said once them two took over, it became your stereotypical sci-fi garbage.
Yeah. So, I mean, congrats! They got a second season. Hopefully, they make it good.
Whatever. I'm done. I'm glad Emily Watson's working. Like, I'm never not mad watching her or Olivia Williams, but like, I'm good. I'm real good. All right, let's move on to shit I've watched. Deja Vu, because it's on the Criterion channel under Deja Vu ? I haven't seen this movie in a long ass time. With that said, this shit makes no fucking sense whatsoever. This is fucking Denzel's Tenet, honestly.
Yeah. I love Deja Vu, but that's because I have never not enjoyed a Tony Scott film. Like,
yeah, this is. If you ask the question, what if Michael Bay made Tenet? This is it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's an apt description. Yeah, if you don't look at the holes, don't look at the plot holes. Look at Denzel being Denzel.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense. Honestly, right. Whatever. I enjoyed it, and I will never watch it again.
Yeah.
All right. What's that?
No, I was gonna say, like, I've watched it. I think I've watched it twice this year.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Moving on Tubi, because I want to watch this before I see The Brutalist again. I watched The Pianist, the movie that put Adrian Brody on. And before all you guys come on here and shame me for watching a Roman Polanski movie, yeah, I know he's a piece of shit, but like, look, I'm gonna keep watching his movies because look, his movies are good, bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Like, you gotta separate the art from the artist. Like, I mean, he's a rapist, but like, the art is the art.
Yeah, like, yo, listen, I ain't gonna stop watching Rosemary's Baby or The Tenant or the or Repulsion or a lot of his shit. Sorry, it's just like, sorry, y'all. I could see why people fucking flip for this movie, because like, if I was, this is why I couldn't be a teacher, because if I was a high school teacher, I'd be like, all right, I'd show 4 movies in history class. I'd be like, all right, so these are the movies we're going to learn. This is your syllabus for the year. First movie we watch would be Schindler's List. Next movie we watch would be fucking The Pianist. Then I'd show them Roots. And then 12 Years a Slave. Just like Schindler's List, rough watch, but goddamn, is it a masterpiece? Like The Pianist, I was like, parts of this shit, I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like, it's so realistic, especially when they shoot people in the head. And what makes it realistic is you just see their bodies go limp, and I was like, holy shit! Like the way the murder happens is just real fucking realistic, and it's hard to watch. Like, they throw a dude because some dude couldn't stand up. The Nazis fucking took him out to the balcony in the wheelchair, lifted up the wheelchair, and threw him over. He fell 10 stories to his death. And then because he couldn't stand up, they told the family they couldn't live there anymore. They marched them outside and shot them all in the head.
Yeah. And that's why when anyone tries to defend these neo-Nazis, you know, namely the fucking orange one who shall
Yeah,
not be
the
named.
incoming administration.
Right, like there's nothing to defend, motherfucker. Nothing.
And the thing is, the pianist is 2.5 hours, and that first half hour is just showing you like the war's coming, and when the war comes, you see how easily they take over. And I'm like, bro, this is just exactly how it's happening now, bro.
Yeah,
I was just like, fuck.
it's like fucking you promise these motherfuckers a little fucking just unrealistic promises, and you get into power, and then this is yes, you want fascism. This is how you get fascism.
Unlike The Brutalist, this is a true story. Like, the person Adrian Brody is playing really lived, and you watch this shit, and by the end of it, you're like, damn, nigga, like, you lived 8 lives, and I don't know how you can survive. Like, once the war's done, I don't know how you adjust back to normal life.
Right, there's no normal life after that. Like, you were fundamentally changed.
I mean, he plays in concert halls again, but like, you could see he's kind of broken at the same time, because I'm like, yeah, nigga, like, yo, your innocence is lost after all that shit. You just look at the world differently. Like, he couldn't even save a little kid who was being beaten by a Nazi guard, because the little kids would sneak into the Nazi camps to steal food and then sneak back to the Jewish ghettos. And little nigga got caught in the wall, and Adrian Brody pulled him out. As soon as he pulls him out, he died in his arms.
Yeah, so that's some feel good fucking movies.
Yo, one of my favorite shots though is in this movie where this nigga, halfway through the movie, you just hear nothing but rumbling, and you just see him hiding, and then he finally emerges, and you just see tears from his eyes as he walks up this mountain rubble, and then it cuts, and you just see infinite amounts of buildings just hollowed out. It's just rubble. You just see like all these skyscrapers and homes just blown the fuck out. And I was just like, God damn, that is an amazing shot. But Jesus Christ, like, there's no sign of life there except rats and roaches.
I mean, I don't know. There's nothing to say. Like, it's a masterpiece of a film about the worst
a Jewish pianist literally trying to survive.
Right, like the worst parts of human history.
I can see why Adrian Brody won Best Actor. Like, I really do. This is an amazing performance. It's on Tubi. It's on Tubi till the new year. Moving on, watch The Beast. It's a French film starring Léa Seydoux. And who's this other dude? He's been in... I didn't even know he could speak... George McKay. I didn't even know he could speak French. But this is both in English and French, but mostly French. But like, yeah, this is a trippy-ass movie. I loved it. Has to deal with... It takes place across 3 fucking points of time. And it deals with actors across 3 different points of time played by the same 2 people. It's trippy. And their love ripples through time. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Is that like, no, go ahead.
It's a Jonas film.
Okay.
Shout out to Jonas. I didn't even know they're still putting out films until we saw Flow earlier this year. I was like, when I saw their logo popped up, I was like, oh shit. Moving on. Watched Adult Swim U-Log 2. Branching out.
They made it part 2?
Yeah, and it sucked.
Oh.
Yeah, this one is literally making fun of Hallmark movies.
Oh no.
You know, those Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie still, and it's the Adult Swim version of a horror movie, but it's mostly parroting those Hallmark Christmas movies.
Is it like nothing good about it?
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Oh man, because like Yule Log Part 1, I'm mad that you gotta say Part 1 was fucking genius. It was amazing.
Yeah, this is it's like Friday the 13th by the way of a Hallmark movie.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and now it has mythology and shit, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. All right, moving on. I saw DIDI. good coming age film. I wanted to see it over the summer and just never got a chance. It's streaming on Peacock. It's fine. It's a nice coming of age Sundance movie. Kids are shitty. That's all I got. Rewatch Training Day because I got the 4K Blu-ray. That was also on sale for $5. Still had the digital copy. That fucking 4K is flawless. This is also Antoine Fuqua's best movie because you could tell he was on one, and his directing has never been better since this movie. And don't get me wrong, there's been Antoine Fuqua movies I've loved since this, but like this is made by a director.
This is peak. This is like, and I totally agree with that statement. Like, I've enjoyed Antoine Fuqua movies since then, and I will always defend Brooklyn's Finest, but he's never reached this level.
Yeah.
Since.
Yeah, like you could tell he was an energized filmmaker with his camera, the way the camera moves, some of the angles he chooses. The color timing on this motherfucker has two of the most iconic scenes in movie history. Like we all know the King Kong speech. Like, yes, we know, but yo, step into my office and you hit the switches and still DRE comes on, going up. Welcome to your training day, Officer Hoy. I still DRE plays. Yeah, this is one of the most iconic parts of film history.
I mean, honestly, it's the bathtub scene.
That's where the story. That's the one part of the story I have is like the coincidences.
I mean, yes, it's a little convenient, but the acting, the directing, everything was so on point that these I can suspend a lot of disbelief.
I can't. I still love it, but all right, we're gonna move on. A Different Man. I also wanted to see this earlier this year. It's fine. It's a farce on how you view yourself and how you view society. Sebastian Stan plays a disfigured man, and he's an actor. He falls in love with his beautiful neighbor, played by the Danish woman from The Worst Person in the World, a movie you guys should all see. He falls in love with her. He gets his face changed, and lo and behold, he gets everything he wants. He becomes a model, a successful real estate agent because he's so hot because it's Sebastian Stan. He finally gets to sleep with his neighbor. Until a dude played by Adam Pearson, and Adam Pearson really does look like this in real life. He is facially disfigured. Comes in as Oswald, and he's so charming and he's so confident, and nobody cares about his facial disfiguration, and he just outshines Edward in every way possible.
All right, cool. I mean, I wanted to watch that. That's actually on my list of movies that I want to try to get out of the way before the new year. But now that you gave me that review, it's like, all right, well, I can wait.
Moving on, one of the best movies I've seen this year, and I'll never watch it again. Documentary called Sugarcane on Disney Plus. This is about the Native Americans in Canada who live on the sugarcane plantation and how they were all abused at this Catholic school because the documentary starts off saying, like, you know, when the white people got to Canada, they started building these Catholic reform schools to deal with the quote unquote Indian problem. And you come to find out all types of shit was going on at these fucking reform schools.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the main story of one of my favorite movies of all time, Map of the Human Heart.
I didn't know Canada was like this. I thought it was just America. I was like, God damn, this shit's everywhere.
Oh yeah, no. It's exploitation.
That's why everybody says, like, Latin America, they should be speaking like Aztec and Mayan, but you know, the Spaniards came over and wiped them out, the indigenous population, and that's why they speak Spanish now in entirely of Latin America.
I mean, that's why you have Filipinos named Gonzalez.
Yeah, yeah. Just England and Spain just ruined everything. The entire world. Look, there's 3 converging stories, all pretty difficult, but there's one scene in one of the storylines between a father and a son, because it's a father and a son is one of the storylines, and it got to one scene, I was like, bro, this is the most heartbreaking shit I've ever watched in my life. Holy fuck. Like, bro, if this was a drama, I'd be like, oh, well, this shit is Best Picture last year, this year, and next year. But this is actual real people saying this shit. I'm just like, God damn, bro, this shit. I was just like, white people are evil, bro. Jesus Christ.
Okay, not gonna argue.
Jesus Christ. SUGARCANE, highly recommended. I'll never watch it again, though. Moving on, I watched Janet Planet, a A24 film I did want to see. Came out over the summer, and it's okay. It's fine. It's about Julianne Nicholson plays a hippie, and she's dealing with her overbearing 11-year-old daughter. And in 1990, I think it's 1990 or 1991, one of those 2 years. It's okay. It's on HBO Max. And finally, we're gonna close out because we got to move on with Hulu's David Gordon Green's Nutcrackers. Yeah, this is not funny. It's not good. I know everybody's like, they're just kids, man. You can't be harsh on kids. I'm like, no, fuck these kids. These are some badass kids. The problem is they've never been beaten.
I don't understand. Like, you can't be hard. Who are saying white people are saying you can't be hard on the kids?
Yeah, like on Letterboxd, I was reading reviews from other people. They're like, I can't believe some of the comments from you guys. Like, they're just kids. I'm like, no, these are badass kids. Fuck these kids.
Like, you shouldn't punch a child in the face, but you have to discipline them. That's your job.
Yeah, man. Like, god damn. Fucking. Basically, imagine if 4 boys of varying different ages, ranging from 5 to 12, were all like the feral boy from the Wild Thornberrys.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's throw away the whole entire family.
Yeah, exactly. And they try to paint Ben Stiller out to be an asshole, and I'm like, I mean, there's a couple of points where I'm like, yeah, nigga, you are being an asshole, but like, honestly, it's deserved because like these kids are fucking bad.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're awful.
Yeah, there's a fine line between precocious and criminal.
Yeah, and this is Skeleton Crew. They're all precocious except for Fern. Fern's a fuck up, and a mean fuck up at that.
Yeah.
However, these kids are just fucking bad.
Right. I mean, fucking. When it's white kids, they're they're just kids being kids. When it's black kids, it's like you get fucking. They're criminals. This is babies kids.
Again, listen, I worked in a school, and I dealt with all that, and I'm just saying, like, listen, white people are evil.
Ooh, hey?
All right, let's get into trailer talk.
Roll camera and action.
It's time for some trailer talk.
All right, so we're gonna get into Superman. I'll be real. I'll wait for the actual movie, but like, I'm not excited, and I'm not mad at it either. I'm just like, I gotta see the movie.
Okay. I thought I was the only one. All right.
No, you're not. Me and my brother talked about this.
Like, it's fine. Like, the trailer's absolutely like, but it's not showing me anything that I would not expect in a Superman film, right? Like
the thing I got out of this walking away, I was like, I kind of want to see a Mr. Terrific movie now more than anything.
like, can I see more of the dog? Can I see more Crypto? Right? Like,
and I'm like, yo, we're doing Man of Steel shit over again. Like, you got the dude throwing the beer can at Superman's head. People are like, death to Superman. I'm like, can we build up to this somehow in one of these movies? Like, please, God. That's the one thing I love about my adventures with Superman. They built up to that shit. They earned that shit.
Look, I'm not gonna make any judgment calls until I see a better trailer, because this is the definition of a teaser, right? Or the actual movie. I'm still I'm apoplectic about this, right? Like, I love Superman. Superman's one of my favorite characters. I didn't see anything in that trailer that was wowing.
Yes.
Right? It's like,
Yes.
yeah, that's just shit Superman does, right? Like, show me what makes this a James Gunn Superman.
Like, the only thing I loved is, like, besides Mr. Terrific, was when he saved the little girl. And I love that Paul Kent is still alive. I was like, oh, we're finally going to keep Paul Kent alive, because I don't know why we got to keep killing him off.
Right, Paul Kent. And, like, when I saw Crypto when I saw the trailer the first time, Crypto was like, that's cool. Like, the second, third time, because I rewatched it over and over again just to see, like, how I felt about it.
It's like watching the prequels for the first time. You're just like, wait, nah, it was good. It was good.
Right. So, like, I'm loving the Crypto thing, just because I know James Gunn is going to make that pretty much probably the best character in the fucking movie. Because I remember when people were like, fucking a talking raccoon in this fucking space opera thing? That's dumb as shit, right? And it turns out Rocket the Raccoon is the best part, is the actual hero of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. So, like, when I see Crypto, I was like, okay, I'm here for it. He wouldn't have put it in if it didn't work.
Yeah,
right?
I'm ambivalent about Crypto too. Like, I'm gonna see it in the movie. Like, I don't hate Crypto. I don't at all. Think he looks cool, but I'm just also like, well, it's just nothing gets me excited. Like I said, the only thing that got me excited was seeing Mr. Terrific.
So when he saves a little girl for you, for me, is when the dude, like the little kid, is holding up the Superman flag.
Oh yeah. That shot was cool too. I was like,
all right,
yeah. Which the entire movie was like that. Like, somebody needs to take the action of Man of Steel and, like, the hope and the optimism from the old movies and just put that together.
Yeah, like I will say from this trailer, even from the trailer, it's infinitely more optimistic, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yes, it is, but, like, there's stuff in there where I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll see. But the fanboy, the Snyder Bros are mad, fucking mad at this trailer. It's like, well, you don't even know
that he's fighting kaiju too. I'll say that much.
Right? It's like, you don't even know what this shit's about, and you're so fucking mad because you attached your life to this grim, dark bullshit.
There's nothing in here so far to get mad about. There's stuff for you to give you pause,
right?
But nothing to give you mad about. This is a trailer where I was just literally like, I have to see the movie. Like, that's
like, it exists. Like, it's a trailer that exists.
I got more excited for fucking Black Captain America's first trailer than I did for this.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's fine. I am still looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does with Superman, but this trailer gives me no indication. It's like it's literally a bunch of images to shut people up.
I also still think it's a bad idea that this comes out a week before Fantastic Four. Like, one of those two movies has to move, and I think it really should be put Fantastic Four out at Thanksgiving. Have families go see that shit at Thanksgiving.
Because, Superman is the most recognizable symbol. It's universal. Like, you can ask a motherfucker in fucking Indochina, you can show them the Superman logo, and it's like, they know what that is. Fantastic Four, but also,
I mean, everybody knows who they are. It's just we've had so many iterations, and Marvel's been very
mid at best.
Lately,
yeah.
Move it to Thanksgiving. I mean, the only thing coming out at Thanksgiving is Wicked, and like we've seen, Wicked will do fine, and other movies coming out against Wicked will also do fine.
Right, like you're never gonna take away Wicked's money.
Right. Honestly, you can only add on to your money.
Right, exactly.
Like just like everything that came out at Thanksgiving is still playing now. Gladiator 2, Moana 2, Wicked, and all of them are still making money
Right,
despite there being like 8 new movies
like Wicked 2.
also out.
Like now they got the sing along version, right? Like you can go in, they got the lyrics and shit like that. Like it's gonna make money.
Right. Also hate the title change for that motherfucker. I guess we're just pulling Mission Impossibles for our 2-part movies now.
What's the new title?
Wicked : For Good. I was just like, oh, we're all gonna just keep pulling Mission Impossibles where we call our first part literally part 1, and then part 2 we're just changing it to some bullshit ass name.
I hate this. I hate that. I just call it part 2.
Yeah,
just
man.
Fucking, what was wrong with part 2?
I don't know. I don't know.
What was like 4?
It
whatever.
makes no sense, honestly.
What kind of? I hate the marketing department. Like, because that was some executive who was like, I don't know, Wicked Part 2 doesn't have any fucking zhuzh to it. Let's.
Y'all understand the first movie to number a movie was Godfather. Like it was the Godfather Part 2. Like Coppola had to fight Paramount on that. He's like, no, it has to be the Godfather. Like remember they were like, we need to call it the Godfather Returns or the Godfather Comes Back or the Godfather the Next Chapter
like,
or
no,
the Corleone. He's like, no,
2.
it's Godfather Part 2. And now I remember sitting at that Q&A for Megalopolis. He's like, yeah, I regret doing that shit because now that's every movie now. I was like, yeah, nigga, you destroyed shit. Yeah, I don't understand what's wrong with Wicked Part 2 either, to be quite honest with you. Not everything has to be Dark Knighted.
Right. Like it's literally Part 2. Like you can't if you call it Part 1, you got to call it Part 2.
Part 2, right.
Right? Like
cuz then Wicked Part 1 should have just had a subtitle.
Right. Like Wicked, Elphaba Rising, then, yeah?
And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The Film Blurts Feature Film Review.
So how do you want to intro this? How do you want to go about it?
You can go first, and I'll go last. Do it how you want to, but I'm going to do a countdown.
All right.
Because I thought that was funny. I'm not going to lie, Jeff. I thought that was hilarious last year. You started off at number.
What was that?
I thought that was hilarious last year that you started off at number 1.
I can't remember last year, man. That was fucking. So these are my favorite movies of 2024 in no particular order. All right, I'm not doing a countdown or anything like that. So we're gonna start with a movie that it's strictly direct to video. That I just like. I love this movie. It represents everything that independent film should be. Off Ramp. It's that fucking Juggalo movie, right? Like, it's one of my favorites of the year. So if you get a chance, watch Off Ramp. All right, and then we're gonna go Love Lies Bleeding. I've watched it 3 times this year. Late Night with the Devil, The First Omen, The Fall Guy, Last Stop in Yuma County. Now, this one may have some contention, right? Like I said, I'm not saying this is the best movie of the year. It's one of my favorites of the year, Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Because it did what, for that first viewing, it did what I needed to do. It's enjoyable.
Nigga, you liked it. Like, you don't gotta explain yourself. Like, nigga, like you like it.
Rebel Ridge, Strange Darling, The Substance, Transformers 1, Flow, Saturday Night, Conclave, Wicked, September 5th, The Brutalist, Sonic 3, Smile 2, Dune 2. Right?
All right.
And films that I still have to see before the end of the year that I really want to see: Sing Sing, A Better Man, Honora, Lord of the Rings, Nickel Boy, Night Bitch, Queer, Juror Number 2, and Blitz.
Yeah, I was gonna watch Blitz tomorrow too, and I put Blitz on the back burner since everybody's like, eh. I was like, all right.
All right.
So that's a Steve. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because it's a Steve McQueen movie. But now I know I don't have to rush to add this to this fucking list.
All right. So now you're gonna give us an actual countdown.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start off by let's go over some TV I liked. The Penguin,
Yeah.
phenomenal. I know Matt Reeves said in his Directors on Directors that he wants to that he plans on doing a second season. So we'll see if that comes to fruition and if Lauren LaFranc comes back. Also on TV, My Adventures with Superman season 2. Like I said, this show's so good that I don't care if this James Gunn shit sucks because this show exists. It's just like, yo, listen, I'm getting quality Superman content already. So like it's really no sweat off my back. But it just, let me say this, if Superman sucks, that ain't good for your universe because your whole universe is built off the back of this thing.
Right.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Yeah, the show's still going on. We're still haven't wrapped up, but damn, this is what I missed of Star Wars. Like the practical sets up until episode 5. Even in episode 5, like there's a couple practical sets that just took my breath away. I love the swashbuckling. It's like an old school swashbuckling adventure that we used to get, like Swiss Family Caruso or like Treasure Island. It feels like that, except within the Star Wars universe. And like, except for Fern, I like all these kids because even Wim has become like a really cool character. Yeah, man, Jude Law's having a good time. I'm always enjoying having Jude Law. Kelly McDonald popped up in the last episode, and she's in makeup. And I'm like, how did y'all get Kelly McDonald in makeup? That much makeup? Jesus Christ. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see these last 3 episodes. And then finally in TV, I'll talk about Industry Season 3. Best season of the show so far. One episode almost gave me a heart attack. Cannot wait for Season 4. This is one of the most ruthless shows ever made. Honorable mentions from movies. Godzilla Kong, The New Empire. I fucking love that movie. I have fun with it. But like it's entertainment. And sometimes like that's all I want. And it is perfect entertainment. Regrown Now. It's a really well done movie. Really done meditative drama. Just not good enough to make my list. Evil Does Not Exist. Very great fucking Japanese film. Man, just corporate greed is going to destroy the entire world. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I like this, but it's just lacking the punch of the previous 3 movies because every single one of the previous 3 movies always takes it to a next level at some point in the movie where you're just like, oh shit. And it never got to that next level. The Fall Guy. Great entertaining movie. Just makes no fucking sense. At all.
Just don't think about it.
Tuesday. Really love Tuesday. Cool magical realism story of a woman trying to accept the death of her daughter with a great hip-hop soundtrack. Kinds of Kindness. Fucking Yorgos is a sicko. And this is a movie for sickos. And it clicked for me when I saw it the second time in theaters with my brother. And I was just wiping tears out my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
Like, because I was on the fence about putting that on my list because, like, I really did like this. I just didn't like it nearly as much as some other shit.
A Quiet Place Day 1. I really did enjoy this, and I really do hope A Quiet Place 3 is it, because I think we've kind of reached, like, the peak of this franchise now. Like, I don't think there's anywhere else we should be going with this. The First Omen. I'm really surprised by how well done this was and how good it was, honestly. Like, look, not the best horror movie I've seen all year, but definitely the best horror movie from a major studio. It's a shame this didn't make money. Maxine, very enjoyable final chapter in the X trilogy. Megalopolis, look, it ain't for everybody, but it's for me. And like, I gotta admire that this movie wears its heart on its sleeve. But it's insane. Juror number 2, fucking Clint Eastwood made another good movie. Great thriller. Wicked Part 1, perfectly entertaining musical. Night Bitch, enjoyed this as well. Just thought it should have coalesced more, honestly, between the fantastical and the real. Gladiator 2, just for Denzel. The Piano Lesson, something I enjoyed, just not good enough. Ernest Cole, Lost and Found. Smile 2, Blink Twice, In a Violent Nature. And you got to give it. I had to put it on honorable mention just because of the kill.
Right, yeah, because yoga kill. Yeah, okay, I get it.
And finally, Kato Lake, a movie so bad I really can't believe it exists. So number 26 on my best of is a combo of Sing Sing and Sugarcane. Y'all heard me talk about these movies in recent episodes. This episode, I just talked about Sugarcane. Number 25, Hitman. Really love this movie.
Okay.
Number 24, Inside Out 2. Number 23, The Brutalist. I have to see it again, but I really do. The more I think about it, like the first half is a masterpiece and the second half kind of falls apart and gets up its own ass. But then watching interviews with Brady Corbett and then getting to be able, after the screening, to talk to Brady Corbett, I was just like, oh yeah, this dude's kind of...
It's kind of up his own ass.
Yeah. Yes. And look, and like that's all Vox Lux. That movie fucking sucks.
I still have no desire to watch Vox Lux.
Number 22, Late Night with the Devil. Y'all have heard us talk about it enough. Number 21, The War of the Rohirrim. Number 20, The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Number 19, September 5. Number 18, I Saw the TV Glow. Scariest final scene of 2024. That ties the whole thing together. Number 17, Transformers 1. Number 16, The Wild Robot. Number 15. The Wild Robot. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I hope the sequel's good. That's all I can say. I hope it's good. Number 15, The Room Next Door. Shout out to Aldemar. Number 14, Saturday Night. Number 13, Hard Truths. Number 12, Amelia Perez. Number 11, Love Lies Bleeding. Number 10, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. This movie fucking rules. I'm a sucker for a thriller. See this movie. Goddamn, see this movie. Number 9, Honora. Sean Baker blew me away. Number 8, Flow. Number 7, A Real Pain. A breezy hour and a half that just stays with you later. Number 6, Nickel Boys. Haven't seen anything like it. Number 5, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I am very, very, very disappointed y'all didn't make this a hit. Number 4, Challengers. Look, watching the directors on directors between Denny and Luca, it is wild to me that you watch this movie and then you hear Luca when Denny's like, did you do storyboards? Because that is amazing how you shot the movie. Like, you have them standing on glass playing tennis so you could get the shots from under them. And then when the ball becomes the camera and the way the camera moves back and forth like it's a tennis match, he's like, Luca's like, yo, listen, I don't storyboard. We just go to set and we block and that's it. And he's like, and Denny's like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I do it all on set the day of. And he's like, you shoot this on film too? And he's like, yeah, I see it on film, man. Yeah. I was like, damn, Luca's so cavalier about it, looking like, man, it's nothing to me. I'm like, and then watch this movie, you're just like, nah, nigga, this shit Challengers, man. Like, what the fact that he put this and Queer out in the same year, I'm just like, my man is untouchable because nobody puts out this type of quality twice in a year. Number 3, Nosferatu. This is like Robert Eggers' peak cinema. This is the movie he's been building to. Number 2, Conclave. I wish we would get a thriller like this every fucking year. And number 1, Dune Part 2. Between Denis and Nolan, I don't understand, and even Luca, because now Luca's doing studio movies like Challengers and American Psycho and After the Hunt. I don't understand why we can't just let artists make blockbusters. Just give them the money and get out the way. And what's even crazier to finish up is that directors on directors talking to Luca, they were talking about budgets and how they struggle with their budgets. And Denis was like, yeah, I needed another 20-30 million for Dune Part 2, but you know, the limitations just made me more creative. And I'm like, damn, nigga, I was like, you had 190 and you still needed more. But then you watch the movie, I'm like, yeah, I could see where you might want more to do more. But damn. All right. Well, that's my best of 2024. Sorry if some things were lower. Sorry if we left off some shit. I don't give a fuck.
Like,
that's
for me, my shit's always in flux. Right? Like, there are movies I've probably forgotten that I really loved. You know, just not. Yeah, that's all I got. You know, like, it was between the strikes and everything like that. You know, this year was not looking good for films.
I saw 350 movies. I don't want to watch that many movies next year. And I will say I watched a lot of dog shit. Looking back and preparing my list and going through all the shit I watched, I was like, damn, I watched a lot of fucking dog shit. Also, the studios put out a lot of dog shit. Yeah. Honorable mention goes to Sony's Spider-Man universe, because I have not been this entertained by bad movies 3 times this year, all for 3 different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, Madam Web was inept. Kraven the Hunter just made bad choices. And Venom the Last Dance, y'all just didn't care.
Right, they didn't give a fuck. It's hard. It's honestly, but to me, it's hard to believe that this is still a year. Like, Argyle came out this year.
Yeah.
Right? Argyle was one of the first movies of the fucking year. That's how we started off the year.
And it broke me, man. Like, it broke me because like it just broke something in me where people are walking out like, man, I hated this movie. I'm just like, look, it wasn't Argyle. Like, the only thing that got me just as mad as Argyle was probably Red 1. And then I would say Joker, but I would at least Joker had some fucking craft to it.
Right. It was beautifully shot.
Right, yeah. It looked good, and they put, like, the sets were amazing, and the acting was great. And not for nothing, Todd Phillips was directing. But yeah, like nothing that, like, even Borderlands, I was just indifferent to. Like, I just glazed over. Like, I can't even remember anything from the movie because I'm just like, it is what it is. Haven't seen The Crow. Like, the only 2 movies I was mad at bricked. It was Argyle and The Crow, and I was mad at The Crow because
it's why
are we doing this?
And like The Crow, it could have been good. Right? Because, like, The Crow, you could tell people cared, but also that they were stupid. Yeah. They didn't know how shit worked or how story worked. Or how to tell a story or any of the platitudes, anything like that. They just didn't know how they had money but no plan.
Look, this was a year where most of these movies I'll never watch again.
Yeah.
Like, this was a very weak year. As you said, it was the strikes. We're still coming back from COVID, so a lot of things got delayed.
Yeah.
Oh.
But shout out to animation though. Animation saved this year. It really did.
Yeah, it did.
Like animation, musicals, things that you would not normally think would be blockbusters are actually what saved the year.
Yeah. I've only there's mad musicals this year, and only 2 of them I was just like, ooh. Joker was a big ooh, and the end I was just like, ooh.
I still have to see Amelia Perez.
Yeah, that movie fucking rules, man. Like, yo, if you that's another thing about the end is like you're watching that, and I'm like, bro, y'all couldn't pull it off. Amelia Perez, they pulled it off. Yeah, a lot of oohs this year. Ooh. January's already starting off because we got Den of Thieves 2, and I'm personally excited for Companion. I think that's wild we're getting those 2 in January.
So, like, I recently rewatched Den of Thieves, right? And it's growing on me. It's growing on me so much that I'm super excited for Den of Thieves 2.
Yeah, I'm saving my rewatch till it gets closer because I'm gonna put in a AMC A-list reservation as soon as we get out of Nosferatu tonight. I'm gonna put in my reservation for Den of Thieves 2 in Dolby. Right
shit.
out in the Chamonix. Yeah,
Wait,
that first showtime at 6 p.m.
We're not getting a screening for that?
I mean, do you know anybody at Lionsgate?
Nah.
Yeah. So once it hits 6 p.m. that Thursday, I will be in Dolby watching Den of Thieves 2, even though that trailer was popping in IMAX. Kind of wish that was getting the IMAX release too. Well,
yeah. Wait.
Oh, no, man. Like 7's gonna be a 1-week run, so I don't understand why that's not coming in IMAX.
Because 7's the 6th. No, 7th, right? No, 3rd.
Yeah, it's the 3rd.
Yeah.
The 3rd. You're going on the 3rd. I'm going on the 4th. Yeah. But like, yeah, it's that weekend. So I'm like, yo, the following weekend is Den of Thieves. I don't understand why Den of Thieves can't play in IMAX.
Because they're trying to see how much they make off of 7 to see if they're going to push it out another.
Either that, or I hope Disney's contract wasn't that ironclad where they're contractually obligated to play Nosferatu, or maybe they might be doing The Brutalist that weekend, because I know they're saying they're putting The Brutalist out in IMAX sometime next month.
Yeah, because they're trying to, they're trying to do that Oscar push, right?
Yeah. A24 actually paid for Brady to do some IMAX prints for that. Not film prints, but digital.
Right.
Digital prints. Look. Film. Look, I'm ending the year on film. You know what I'm saying? Saturday, I'm seeing Brutalist in 70 and Nosferatu in 35. So film projection back, baby.
Hopefully to stay.
Hopefully, before we sign off, I saw Film Society at Lincoln Center is doing a retrospective on Jordan Peele's Us, because the anointed screenplay is getting published in February, and they're going to do a whole retrospective of movies inspired by it, and there's apparently a couple different cuts they're going to screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I hope y'all run Nope in 70 millimeters so I can see that. Also hope to see Lawrence of Arabia for like the 10th year in a row. I've been asking, hey, Lawrence of Arabia in 70 millimeter, please.
So they're finally putting a 70? They're probably
I'm just hoping it happens sometime this year. They play all the time at Museum of the Moving Image, but that is a movie you see. I saw 2001 in 70 millimeter there, and that is a theater that you see hour-and-a-half movies there.
Right.
Because I've only been there twice. Once to see the assassination of Jesse James on 35 millimeter with an Andrew Dominic Q&A, and then 2001. And I was just like, I was more comfortable in IMAX than I was at that theater.
It's fair.
So any theater in the 5 boroughs, please play a 70 millimeter print of Lawrence of Arabia, not at Museum of the Moving Image. Please, God, I'm begging.
We're going to start a letter writing campaign.
All right, and that is episode 145.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies.
You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.